Dumela, this will be question to your previous question that I did. We're still doing reconciliations and age analysis, which is your data's age analysis. This question is 25 marks. We need to take 30 minutes to complete it. Obviously, I have to explain, so it might take longer than that. Please know that this question is made up of two completely separate parts, which is part A and part B, and have no effect on each other. And this is what we've got here. So this is part A, which is 9 marks. We have information relating to strategic electrics, and strategic electrics is a data here, meaning that AC/DC wholesalers will be a creditor. So that is a data. And from strategic electrics, AC/DC wholesalers will be a creditor. From AC/DC wholesalers, strategic electric will be a debtor. Because this is the statement that was prepared by AC/DC wholesalers, the debit will be a plus since this will represent your debtor's ledger. So the debit will be a plus and the credit will be a minus. Please note that you start comparing from where the balances are the same. So this side we have our creditors ledger of strategic electrics, and this one relates to ADC wholesalers. So you'll realize that they have the same balances there. And now when it comes to the closing balances, okay, which is this balance over here, and this one over here. Those two balances, we are going to start our statements, which is your bank reconciliation statement as well as your creditors ledger. So the one that is in the account statement of account will be the balance in the creditors reconciliation statement, and the one that was in the creditors ledger will be the balance in the creditors ledger. So we starting with the closing balances, but we start comparing from where the balances are the same. You with me there? Now, when I compare these two statements, statement of account as well as the creditor's ledger, I notice that these two amounts will be different here. I don't know who's wrong. And when it comes to 8,950, I've got it this side, so I will just tick. 8,300, I've got it this side, so I will just tick. Even this side I have ticked. 650, circle it, because it's not this side. 740, I did not see it in the creditors ledger, so I will circle it as well. 3,430, I will circle that. I did not see it this side. And 2,100, I did not see it that side. We also have interest, which is 640. Please note that interest will be circled automatically because strategic electrics would have not known about that interest up until they receive that statement of account. And we've got invoice 87. I did not see it that side. We've got a payment of 2,300 as well as an invoice of 1,240. Those ones, the reason why we circle them is because they actually took place after the statement date. So you can simply say these two here, because they took place after the statement dates, automatically they will go to your creditor's reconciliation statement because these ones happened after we received a statement of account. Okay, now they explain the differences to us here. So they said to you, upon investigation, it was found that invoice 104 dated the 4th of August was overstated by ACDC. Please note that ACDC is them. Okay, so this is them. All right, and this is us. So this is them and this is us. According to this first investigation that was found, that invoice was overstated by them, not us. Okay. So you will notice that in our books, it was reflected as 2,300, which is correct. In their books, it was reflected as 2,500, which is incorrect. So they need to correct it. They need to bring it down. It's an invoice. So when you bring down an invoice, it will be a minus. When you record it in the Creditor's reconciliation statement. First, find the difference between 2,500 and 2,300. We need to reduce the creditor's reconciliation statement by the difference. The difference here will just be 200. This is not affecting us at all because the mistake was not done by us. You need to remember the rule. Watch the previous activity where I explained that if the mistake or the correction needs to be done by them, we do it in the in the creditor's reconciliation statement. However, if the mistake was made by us, we will correct it in the creditor's ledger. Here, we will not correct it in the creditor's ledger because it is them that actually made a mistake. They overstated an invoice. They added more than they were supposed to. That is why we are subtracting the difference so that it goes down to the correct amount, which was 2,300. Now, when you go to B, it says the EFT in settlement of invoice 112 did not meet the terms of ACDC and therefore the discount was incorrectly recorded. Now you will notice that there was no discount here, but they're really referring to this payment over here, right, of 8,300. Now that payment was followed by a discount received. So we recorded that discount received. And according to the investigation, we were not supposed to because we do not qualify for this discount. We did not meet the terms of the agreement or credit terms, sort of to say. Now, what we need to do here is to actually, because we are dealing with the creditors ledger, please note that the debit is a minus and the credit is a plus. So this 650 was subtracted. The mistake is on our side. So because the mistake is on our side, we have to correct it. All right. It was initially subtracted. As you can tell from what I showed you earlier on, it is on the debit side, it is on the minus side. Okay, because it's on the minus side, to correct that mistake that we made, we need to add it back. So it is not them that made a mistake. So that is why for them I will put a dash, but for us guys, I have to add back that 650. You with me? Great. Now for C, they say invoice 9 was allocated to the incorrect data. So they allocated it to us and it is not ours. So they're talking about this invoice here. It is in the statement of account. So they allocated it to us and we are strategic electrics and it wasn't supposed to be ours. So it is their mistake. So this is their mistake. So they need to correct it. All right. To correct it, we will record it in the creditor's reconciliation statement by actually subtracting it because it was added. Now, for D, a mistake was made when recording the return in the CAJ. The statement from ACDC was correct. What are they talking about here? The return. So they're talking about this one here. So we are wrong. And obviously, guys, when we return goods to a creditor, we give the creditor a debit note. So we gave a creditor a debit note of 3,430. In return, the creditor will give us a credit note. and their credit note was 2,100. It means that they only accepting that 2,100 as the value of goods returned, and they simply saying to you, we accept that this was our mistake. It was an error from our side. So because it was an error from our side, we are simply going to accept these errors, which amount to 2,100. But we send back goods that are worth 3,430. So why are they not um, authorizing or accepting the whole 3,430? It's because some of the goods they returned might not have been wrong because of them. Probably the goods were not of good quality or they're damaged or whatever the case is. It wasn't an error on the side of ACDC. So that is why they are simply rejecting everything else. They're only accepting 1,000, I mean 2,100 of the total returns. So we gave them a debit note of 3,430 and they were like, oh, nope, we will only accept 2,100 as a return of goods. The rest, it was your mistake, it's not ours. So we are wrong. We have to take what they give us because a credit note from their side will override our debit note. So what we need to do is that we over subtracted by 3,430. We were supposed to only subtract 2,100. So here the mistake was on our side. So we will correct the creditor's ledger. To correct the creditor's ledger, we'll find the difference between 3,430 and 2,100. That difference, you will add it back in the creditor's ledger. It does not affect the creditor's recon because it wasn't their mistake, or they just authorized 2,100. They accepted 2,100 and they're rejecting the whole 3,430. Now, when you move to E, it was discovered that invoice 89 was for globes bought from Light Glow and not ACDC. Huh. So this must be in the ledger, which is this amount here, this invoice over here. So that invoice is on the plus side. So it is wrong. Okay. It wasn't supposed to be for ACDC. It was supposed to be for Glow Light. That's what they said, right? Yes. Light glow. It was for light glow. So we did not buy those goods from ACDC. So it's in the wrong creditor's ledger. So we need to take it to the creditor's ledger of glow lit, okay, or light. And we need to take it out of the creditor's ledger of ACDC. So what we're going to do, because the mistake wasn't theirs, it was ours, we're going to go to the creditor's ledger and subtract that 7,400. It was an invoice. That doesn't belong to them. Okay. The last one, it says the statement sent out by ACDC by the close of business on a 20 statements are sent out by ACDC by the close of business on 24th of a month. And that means, guys, comparisons are done. But you will notice there was interest of 640. That interest of 640, we will have not known about it. So we only got to know about it when we received that statement of account. We are going to record it in the creditor's ledger by adding it. Now, because they said the statement, as I've said here, because the statement was on the 24th, everything here will be recorded in the CRS. So we are going to take that 2,300 because it's a payment. We are going to subtract it from the creditor's reconciliation statement, and we will add that invoice of 1,240. Okay. And then you can total up. This is the moment of truth. So when you total up, you will take that minus this, minus this, minus this, plus that. It will give you 5,413. Then you will take that plus this, minus this, minus this. It'll give you 5,413. Oh, yeah, it balanced. Now that's where you should be excited. It means that you got everything right. Okay, let's go to part B. All right, this is part B, 16 marks. The other one was just 9 marks. This one, it's a lot of marks. Now we've got information below that was extracted from the accounting records of Puzzle Handle Traders. Puzzle Handle Traders sells goods for cash and on credit. Goods sold for cash are sold at cost price, at cost plus 75%, and goods sold on credit are sold at cost plus 100%. Debtors' individual accounts are recorded in the debtors ledger, and statements are emailed to customers on the last day of the month. Okay, I'm just going to highlight that. Extracted from the credit terms of Puzzle Handle Traders states, amongst others, the following: a 5% discount is applied if debtors pay their account within 30 days from the date of statement, and 2% interest is charged per month on all amounts that are outstanding for a period longer than 30 days from the date of the statement. All right. Now, credit terms must be strictly, credit limit must be strictly adhered to. A statement of account is posted to debtors on the last day of the month. The following statement of account was sent to EduBuild. So we are EduBuild, understand that, okay? So this is what was sent to EduBuild. Okay, the creditor here will be Puzzle Handle Traders, correct? They said the credit limit, according to the last statement, they said the credit limit is 20,000 rand, but I'm seeing this as 39,000, and it's not the same as the balance that we have in the debtor's age analysis. Huh, wonder what's going on there. Obviously, for both balances, the 39,000 and the 36,500 exceed the credit limit. And that is one of the things you can simply put in is it's they said they need to strictly adhere to that. Um, Let me see what we have here. So we've got this question here. Briefly explain the similarity and the difference between information recorded in the debtor's control account and the debtor's ledger. So what I said here, guys, is that the similarities are that everything that goes to the debtor's control also goes to the debtor's ledger. It's just that it goes to the debtor's ledger on a daily basis, but it goes to the debtor's control at the end of the month. Okay. Now, I said the information that is posted to the debtor's control in the general ledger has also been recorded daily in the debtor's ledger. The other difference is that the debtor's ledger focuses on individual debtors, unlike the debtor's control. The debtor's control focuses on all credit sale, all debtors. Okay, this one focuses on one individual debtor, just like we have done ACDC. We're focusing only on that specific creditor. And when it comes to the ledger, we also do the same thing. We only focus on that specific data, right? So it's more preparing the summary of the transaction that each individual data has entered into with the business. And then for 2.2 says, refer to information point 3 and 4 to answer this question. Has the credit manager of Puzzle Handle Traders applied the credit policy as indicated in point 3 correctly to the account of EduBuild? The answer is no. I just showed you what the mistake was there. They said they strictly adhered to the credit limit, but the account of EduBuild already exceeded the credit limit. Um, I don't remember what I said here, but if I look back, to what I've got here, I also noticed that on the 15th, they gave us a discount allowed of that. Okay. And I noticed that that discount is actually not even 10% of what was owed. So to check if it's not, what you can do is to take this 3,500 multiplied by 5 divided by 95. You will notice it doesn't give you that. So they incorrectly calculated the discount. And even this discount here was wrong, this one here. Because that 6,000 rand, it's also at 95. If you were to take that 6,000 rand and multiply it by 5 and divide it by 95, you will not get that 300 rand. And that's a problem. And the balances are not the same. So something is not adding up here. So that balance is not the same as the balance that is in the debtor's age analysis. And I also noticed that the payment, look at the payment. Look at the date the payment was made. It was made on the 31st of July. Yet there was an amount owing over there on the 1st of June. So that amount was still owing even here because, well, in this case, I'll just focus on this one here. This amount was owed there. So since this amount is owed there, 30 days after the statement date for that month will be the 15th of July. Actually, I'm lying here. 30 days after the previous month, which is June, will start on the 1st of July. From the 1st of July up until there, it's more than 30 days. So this amount here is actually 30 days overdue, and there was no interest that was calculated because they said it here, right? They said it. They said interest is calculated at 2% for amounts outstanding for a period longer than 30 days. That's what they said. But when you look at this statement here, there's no interest at all. And guys, that debt, any debt that was due from last month, this debt here, that was due from last month, this one here, okay? It was due from last month. And we are here, which is after 30 days, and there was no interest on that. Do you get what I'm saying, though? I hope it makes sense. And on top of that, discount was actually incorrectly calculated. So let me see what I wrote when I did this. Interest was not at all. There it is, okay? Um, and they said discount allowed of 325 is not 5% of the amount owed. And also the discount of 300 is also not the 5% of the amount owed and should not be recognized. Now, I said should not be recognized. Question is, why did I say should not be recognized? When you read the credit terms here, they said it should be 5% is applied if the debtor pays within 30 days. And note that this debt here that is paid here, this 6,000 that is paid, is paid on the 31st of July. It has exceeded 30 days, so it shouldn't have a discount in the first place. You with me? However, we will record the discount, but if we were to stick to the credit terms, there shouldn't be that discount. It's gone now, but there shouldn't be that discount. The reason why there shouldn't be that discount is because this payment is actually settling an amount that was owed in June. And therefore, The discount on that 5,675 was not supposed to have been recognized. I hope you're with me. It wasn't supposed to have been recognized. Maybe we're gonna recognize even on that 23,000 rand. We wouldn't, because this will be after the it'll be after 30 days, and therefore it will not qualify for a discount. This is the only one that will qualify for a discount, but 23 and the 5,675 will not qualify for a discount at all. But they calculated it as 300, which is wrong, because that 300, what they did, they probably took, because when I calculated it, it was different. Let me see how much I got for this. I am going to take 6,000. That 6,000 is already at 95. A payment excludes the discount that was offered. So I'm going to multiply it by 5 and divide it by 95. It will give me 315,000,79. 315,000,79. It's not that 300 rand. So this 300 rand is actually incorrect. And in the first place, it wasn't supposed to have been recognized, but we'll let it slide for now, okay? So that's why I said that it should not be recognized. Now we need to prepare this. They say refer to information in point 4, 5, and 6. Indicate how the transaction in 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3 will affect debtors control and debtors ledger account. Place X on the relevant columns and show the amount if there is no effect. Place an X in the column marked no effect, if there's no effect, that is. When you read 6.1, it says that, okay, I'm gonna read it together with 5 because it looks like they are linked. It says on receipt of the statement, EduBuild contacted Puzzle Heddle traders with the following concerns. The discount allowed on the payment on the 15th 2024 and 31 July 2024 is incorrect, which is what I spoke about, didn't I? This discount here is incorrect. And which one again? And the last one is also incorrect. So those two amounts, where are we going to cancel them? Okay, let me read 6.1 or 5.2. On 3 July 2024, EduBuild returned 3,675 worth of merchandise, which was not according to the sample, to sample, and not 6,375 as indicated on the statement. EduBuild attached a copy of the credit note he received from Puzzle Heddle Traders regarding this transaction. So here they over subtracted, we need to add the difference. EduBuild stated that he did not purchase any goods from Puzzle Heddle traders on the 17th of July. So which invoice? Oh, it's this one here. So they did not purchase anything on that day. So we need to reverse this. So it means that is actually wrong. I'm gonna do it with red so that we know that it shouldn't be there in the first place. Okay. Now they say the credit manager investigated the concerns received from EduBuild and noted the following. The amount of the discount calculated on the 15th was incorrect. So that is the only amount that was incorrect. And that is the only amount that we have to actually correct. How do we correct it? Please note that the discount was recorded as 325. To correct it, it means we have to, it will affect our debtors control. It will also affect our debtors ledger. So it will have to increase both of them have to increase by the difference between 325 and 184.79, if I'm not mistaken. So the difference here will be around 150. I just need to check if this is correct. Now you will notice that the discount allowed was 325,000. It was 325,000. And it was supposed to have been whatever we received there. And how much was that? I think I calculated it earlier on. It was supposed to have been 3,500 multiplied by 5 divided by 95. It was supposed to be 184.21. So it means it's overstated. So we need to reduce it so that it goes to 184.21. You will simply take 325 and you minus 184.21. It will give you 140.79. It'll give you 140.79. So what we need to do when we correct the mistake here, we have to increase our debtors control by that difference. The reason why we're increasing our debtors control by that difference is because we over subtracted. You with me there? So what we're going to do here is to find that we said it will be 184.21. We need to take it to that amount. It shouldn't be 325. So it'll affect both the debtors control as it needs to be corrected in the journal, in the respective journals. It could be in the general journal here. So it'll affect your debtors control because of that. So it means you need to increase your debtors control by the difference. It'll also affect your debtors ledger. So you will need to increase your debtors ledger by the difference as well. Now moving to the next one, the amount on the credit note. Credit note is issued when we return goods. Remember that. So the amount on the credit note to Edu on the 3rd of July was recorded as 3,675 and was recorded correctly in the debtors allowances journal. However, when the amount was posted to Edu bills, so it was correct in the journal. So guys, that will not affect your debtors control in the first place. So it will not affect your debtors control. It'll affect your debtors ledger. So to get the difference, you are simply going to take this amount that was posted, which is 6,375 and minus 3,675. The difference between the two values will be 2,700. You are going to go to your debtors ledger. Remember, it was a credit note. We over subtracted. So to correct this, you are simply going to debit your debtors ledger by the difference. One last one. 6.3 says it was determined that the goods sold on the 17th of July, I did show you those goods on the 17th of July, will be that 8,000 Rand. Um, they were sold to Edu Build then traders and not Edu Build. What we need to do here is to take it out. To take it off, it will be taken out in our, because the error was made in the debtors ledger. And even if it's there in the debtors control, the net effect will be zero. Okay. So that's why we don't touch the debtors control. But in the debtors ledger, we have to reduce the account relating to Edu Build by that 8,000 rand. Okay. Now moving to the next one. Oops, they want us to prepare this again. Guys, I already have the balances that were given to me. Okay, so the balance I will start with will be that 9,900. So first of all, write what the current month is. The current month is normally the month that is written in the statement. And the month written in the statement of account, it told you that it was for August. So the current month will be August. Before August, 30 days will be July, and then we're gonna have June as 30 days. So for June, we already have a balance amounting to 9,500. And what follows that balance was a payment of 3,500 accompanied by the discount, which is 184.21. So I will take that because it's a payment, it will always go to the oldest debt. And the oldest debt right now is that 9,500. We'll start by minusing that 3,500 and minus the discount that go with it. The correct discount this time. Okay. And let me see what comes after that. They told you that we issued an invoice. There was an invoice that was issued to EduBuild. That invoice of 23,000 Rand will be recorded in the month it was issued, which will be July. Right? It was issued in July. Invoice goes to the month in which it was issued. So we will put that 23,000 under July. Awesome. You still with me? If you did the first one, you will know that this is quite easy. And then we have a payment. No, it's a credit note of 6,375. Oh, that one, guys, a credit note always follows an invoice. So it'll follow the 23,000 Rand. So we'll put it under July as well. And then there was an invoice. That invoice, guys, we said it wasn't supposed to go to EduBuild. It was supposed to have gone to somebody else. And because it was supposed to have gone to somebody else, we will not record it. Are you with me there? It was for Edu Building, I think. Yeah, it was for Edu Building. So it was determined that invoice sold, goods sold on the 17th of July were sold to Edu Building and not Edu Build. So it wasn't supposed to be in the account of Edu Build. It was supposed to have been taken to the account of Edu Build them. So I will leave it out altogether because it's not supposed to be recorded in the data's age analysis of Edu Build. Okay, then we've got a payment of 6,000 Rand. That payment, guys, will go to the oldest debt. So what I normally do, guys, the oldest debt is still there 30 days. That is wrong. It was supposed to say 60 days here. I just noticed this now. That is not 30 days. It's supposed to be 60 days. Because 30 days is July. Okay, so this will be 60. Okay. Um, Going back to what I have here, it'll go to 60 days. What I normally do, guys, when I allocate the payment, I normally find the balance for 60 days, which is the oldest debt. So the balance for 60 days will be 5,815.79. That is the payment that will be allocated. Remember, we paid 6,000 rand. So the remainder of that 6,000 rand will go to the second oldest debt, which will be 30 days. So to get it, you will take 6,000 rand minus the payment that was allocated to 60 days, and whatever remains will go to July, which will be 184.21. It goes with a discount, and the discount was 300, but we said it was wrong, so you had to recalculate it. I did it here on the side by taking that 6,000 and multiplying it with 5 over 95. It gave me 315 if I'm not mistaken. So that is the discount you're going to put in here, and you will put it as a minus as well. Right. Now, after that, what do we have? We have 15,000. 15,000 will go to the month it was issued, which will be the current month of August. Balance of 30 days. When you balance off 30 days, you will get 800, it's 18,825.01. What a tongue twister there. Now, to get the balance for the current month, guys, please note that they said here, they said the current month, the balance was supposed to be that 39,000, but they gave us, according to debtors age analysis, it's supposed to be 36,500. So when you find the difference between these two, and if you were to recalculate this, all right, recalculate it, and you will realize how much you will get. The difference means that the balance was overstated. So since it was overstated, you will correct it in the current month by subtracting the August balance of 15,000 by the difference between those two values, and the difference between those two values will be 2,500. So the current debt will be 12,500. Okay. Obviously, the other one will also be wrong as well. And this is what we're gonna have to calculate, and this is what we've got.